Welcome back to another episode of Fox and Fix It Garage, Junk in the Trunk edition. Not that long ago, I found I have a water leak in the trunk of the Civic, and it was because there is a rust hole right here underneath this trim. And while this duct tape is holding up fairly well, it has done nothing to slow the water intrusion, which is now actually soaked up into that nice cardboard that I'm going to have to make new trunk cover tray things out of. Right, Travis? But first, I've got to repair this. And what I'm going to use for patch on this is I'm going to use a piece of, I think it's floor channel or floor reinforcement out of a K5 Blazer. I apparently didn't need this piece, but it'll come in handy now. I think one of these curves will match and should work pretty good. Well, that went easier than I thought it was going to be. I think my best bet is going to be to sort of lay this in here and mark it with a paint pen. By the way, if you don't have like a white paint pen, you should get one if you're going to do any sort of metal fabrication or really anything. These mark on everything that the Sharpie won't. And really, we should only have to cut right about here. There, as long as we cut to the inside of that mark, we should be good. So there we go. Sure. Let's see how we do with our cutting piece. That's it, it's clamped in place. Let's get some tack welds on this so we can get these vice grips off and weld the rest of it. Before I go any further, I almost forgot. I definitely need to clean up some of these areas so I get a better weld on them. They're tacked in place, but some of it's not going to weld if I don't clean it up. Metal prep, very important. Alrighty, there we go. We've made little to no difference, but I feel better. I never said I was good at welding. I'm not. Not at all. Well, with the thin metal I've got to work with here and with the rust that's just at the edges of all this, that's really about as good as it's going to get, which is awful. But we'll scrape it down, we'll clean it up, and see if there's any pinholes we still need to fix. Hopefully not, because I've already put like a pound of welding wire in that probably. It'll just be heavy on the driver's side. That's good enough for me. Next thing we gotta do is we gotta cut this down to size vertically. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a die grinder, and we're gonna try to get some of these crappy welds cleaned up just a little bit so it looks nicer for everyone. And we'll start with just deburring the top of this. I don't really care about how clean they end up, but what I wanna do is I don't want them to trap water and then basically trap rust, and then we're back to where we were, but now with a bigger hole. So I really just want to make sure that this part and this part is smooth, so the water just goes that way. Goes that way. All right, that's as far as I want to take that. Not because I can't get through all these booger welds that I put here, but because I'm afraid they're so porous that if I grind them down, I'll just have a screen door. So if you're doing hack welding like that for bodywork, you're ready to prime and paint. It's way too cold out, it's about 40 degrees, perfect. I'll at least prep it slightly with some sort of wipe. I mean, I'm not a total butcher. That's not true at all. This is total butchery. But it's also on a rusted 82 Honda Civic, so I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for lack of leaks. You don't want to use too much primer like that, because it'll take forever to dry. Here's something you probably shouldn't do. Use a heat gun to help dry paint, but why not? Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Well, we're at least going to be using the correct Honda NH79M Arctic Silver Metallic on this fine paint job left on the car. I've given this paint zero time to warm up. At least the metal's warm. Ooh, that's pretty. There's a little rust down here. Matchy, matchy. And the fun thing is, wet paint will act as glue. There we go. All right. Repair completed. While I was looking at all these, this is actually a nice thick piece, and it's got a metal backing. This piece will be fine for the trunk. I don't have to replace that. But the one that covers the spare tire, I mean, is it's garbage. There's nothing really left of it, and it's nice and moldy, so gross. I've already traced it. All I gotta do is cut it out with a jigsaw, and we'll throw everything in. There's the piece we cut. There's the original piece we were able to save that is hinged. There's a piece of sandpaper. We don't need that. Time for carpet. That's way better. So much more room for activities now. As long as that water doesn't come in, we should be good. This might be hard to tell, but it rained last night. Let's see if that trunk leaks. Moment of truth. Let's see if my crappy welding is watertight. Oh, that looks damp in there, but that could be the water damage from last time. Oh no, that's bone dry. Okay, that's just discoloration from previous leaking. Anything here? Nope. Bone dry. So, yeah, final analysis. While that might be very, very unsightly, it is watertight. And I'll take watertight over pretty any day. A little bit of welding, a little bit of painting, a little bit of carpentry, I guess. Whatever. I guess as long as you like, share, and subscribe, we'll see you next time.